Okay, so a while back I posted a video about how to record a VGA monitor using Pinnacle Dazzle, and since then I've gotten a lot of messages from people asking what kind of settings I use, or basically asking for help on setting it up because they're having troubles or something. And I figure I'd go ahead and make a video tutorial because sometimes it's a little bit easier when you have a visual reference to set things up, as opposed to just some random person being like, okay, well, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I have things set up and how I record. Uh, I always, of course, start off with this comes with the Dazzle. If it didn't, you can download it. I'm sure somewhere. I think it's free if you have the Dazzle. I certainly hope it is. But you should have gotten a disc if you bought the Dazzle with Pinnacle Studio. I have 15. Sometimes you get the older version. They're all pretty much the same. There's not a whole lot of difference as far as I can tell, and at least since between 14 and 15, I can't tell. But once the program starts, it normally takes longer than that. I don't know why it was so quick that time. I guess it just knows I'm recording, so that's pretty fucking sweet. But once you have it open, you always go to import, and then it'll take this a little bit to load, and it'll pop up with this screen here. And from this screen, it'll give you import from, which is different sources that you can select to record. And of course, you want to pick your Dazzle, and then you'll pick either composite or S video, depending on which one you use. Obviously, I use S video because composite is shit. S video is shit too, but not nearly as shit as composite. And then once you've selected that, you can go to your settings here, and by default in 15, I'm pretty sure the sharpness will be down here. In 14, everything I think is just pretty much leveled out. Oh, god damn it! Ugh. Anyways, everything is just leveled out, and but you always want to turn your sharpness down, otherwise things come out really blurry and weird. Save that for later. But I always turn my saturation up just a little bit, and my brightness up just a little bit. And everything else, the other two, I just leave default. This I bring down, but in 15 it's defaulted down, so I just stick with it. I always have to switch to 16 by 9. It always defaults to 4 by 3. I'm not really sure why or how to change that, but I always just turn it on, click 16 by 9. If you want to do 4 by 3, obviously you can if you want. It's really up to you. Depending on where you live, you'll have to pick one of these. I live in America. We use NTSC. I mean, if you live somewhere else where they use PAL or SCAM, you might want to click on these, or it's not going to work. Just period. It's not going to work. So turn that bad boy off. And as you can see, it says no input signal. It's because my Xbox isn't turned on yet. And I'll get to that in a second. Here it'll say mode, and then they have presets. And I use custom, MPEG-2, MP2, 720 by 480, and then my data rate I turn all the way up. These work just fine. I can't even hardly tell a fucking difference between them. I don't know what the difference is. I just turn it on for the hell of it. Here is your file name, and you can put whatever you want. Whatever you put here when you record something, it's going to save it under that name. So I can be like video tutorial, or I could leave it as dicks in your butt, and it'll save it as that. Scene detection is pretty much fucking useless. I guess if you're like watching a movie or something, every time it goes to another scene, it's like that black flash or whatever. It's real quick between frames, it'll stop it and then start a new record file, and then so when you're done recording, you'll have 30 different files every time the screen I think goes black or something. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but it'll be defaulted as on. Turn that shit off. Fuck that. You want it all. You're gonna want it in one video, unless you want it cut into millions of little fucking pieces that you have to edit later. I guess that's really on you. And then over here we have import to, which is the last setting here. And pretty much you just pick the directory that you want to save your videos to. Obviously, I go to my hard drive. You got to make sure you have enough space, because it sucks to run out of space. I do my second hard drive, and then I have a folder called Dazzle. You can use this to create a new folder if you don't already have one. I'll just put Dazzle 2, because I already have one. And now it'll record to Dazzle 2, and you can set subfolders, and it'll show you, which is really neat, how many gigs you have left and how much time you can record. Apparently I can record 29 hours and 20 minutes more than what I have now. Anyways, once you have all that set up, or you can do this before, it doesn't really matter. But you turn on your Xbox, and I've just turned mine on, so if we give it a second, it'll pop up here. And boom, there it is. This will be like slightly behind what's actually happening on the Xbox, so you certainly can't play using this screen, the smaller screen. You're gonna want to be using another screen, so don't expect to just plug your Dazzle straight into your computer and play off this, because yeah, it shows it, but it's behind. You will get fucked on your video games. I always turn this off, but you can have it set up to where it will play the sounds through your speakers on your computer as well. It's annoying as shit because I have obviously my regular speakers playing the Xbox, and then I have this one playing the same sounds slightly behind, and it's stupid. So I turn that off on recording because it does not have to be on. Even if this is turned off, it's still going to record sound, which you can see here. Once you have your Xbox on, okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you something. If you use the TV tuner that I posted in my video, when you turn it on, it's not going to be centered like this. As you can see, everything's like centered and, you know, looks nice and neat. I'm going to go ahead and plug mine and then plug it back in. Boom. When you actually get it, oh shit, turn back on. There. Fuck. Okay, when you actually get it, it's going to be skewed like this. And you have to use the buttons on the TV tuner you have, and using those you can move it around and center it. I'd recommend in doing this just because that way you don't have to go back later when you're editing and oh shit, cut off like, you know, these giant fucking black bars that are going to be on either side of it. If I can get this lined up again. This is a pain in the ass. I do this all the time because I constantly unplug my TV tuner because I'm an idiot. That's good enough. I don't care. But yeah, that a lot of people, they're just like, oh my god, it doesn't work. No matter what I do, it doesn't work because it shows up like that. No, it works. You just have to manually move it. And it's a pain in the ass. For my resolution, I use a slightly smaller resolution. I don't play in full 1080. I can, but to get it to line up like this good, as you can see, this good. Wow, I'm fucking it. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of unused space on the recording screen here, and that's because I use a 1360 by 768, which is widescreen, and that was just the resolution. It's one of the options when you're using a VGA cable, and I could have used the bigger ones, but if you do that, it doesn't center it as well. I'll go ahead and switch to 1920 by 1080. Maybe. Oh, my controller died. That's why it's not moving. Okay, sorry. I probably should charge this. Like if I switch to 1080, as you can see, it's definitely cut off. No, I don't want to keep the settings. But yeah, 1360 by 768 works really well. It's still a higher resolution than these horrid lower resolutions in which you can't see crap. Everything's still very clear and detailed on my regular screen, and I can also record in the standard definition, which is 720 by 480 in the Dazzle. You're not going to be able to record HD, and you're not going to be able to see HD using an S-video cable or composite. Sorry, I know I hate to break it to you, but if you want to record and see HD and play HD all the time, you're going to have to spend a lot more money to get a better capture card, like I don't know, one of the other big fancy ones. But if you're poor like me, this is the next best thing. So, my controller died again. I'm going to get my other controller. Sorry. I should have been a little bit more prepared to do this. Okay, controller's back on. Anyways, once you're on, you have everything set up. Oh, I have a message. Who's this from? Messages. No, I have not renewed yet. Actually. But, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and start a game of Halo. Just to get some video, so I can show you how I set up my rendering and stuff. But at this point, you're pretty much ready to record. Everything beyond this point is optional. I'm going to load the video up in Sony Vegas and apply some settings to it and render it. but that's all optional. Once you've gotten this far, all you have to do is hit start capture, and you are good to go. It'll make the video file. It'll be in 720 by 40, which it records in, and you can upload it. It's pretty much ready to go. I'll just get a forge just for the sake of getting in a map quick. It'll take forever. God damn it, go! Okay, starting game. Oh, for fuck. I forgot about the countdown. My apologies. I know this is taking forever. I'm honestly not sure how long I've already been going at this point, but I may have to cut this down and put it into 2 videos. I certainly hope I don't have to, but you do what you got to.